Hi, I'm Christine McKay and welcome to My Craft Studio. And I'm so excited because we are here today with Megan Hoeppner. She is the creative editor of CK Magazine and I'm so excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
We were just talking off camera about how blessed that we are to be able to work in the environment that is our hobby and that's something we enjoy.
Yeah, we are very lucky. I get told that all the time and I'm the first to say it myself. When you can work in what you love, it makes a huge difference in the day-to-day, doesn't it?
It makes a huge difference. So one of the reasons I wanted to have Megan here today was because last year this magazine just made a huge splash across the crafting world. Tell me a little bit about this.
It did. Creative Spaces is its name, and it's all about just that very thing, creative spaces, whether it's a craft room or a craft corner. Some of the rooms in Volume 1 were just shared with their bedrooms and things of that nature, but where you go to enjoy your passion, whether it's sewing or paper crafting or scrapbooking, stamping, whatever, just to go and be yourself and enjoy what you do.
And I think it's so fun to kind of be a fly on the wall and take a walk through those creative spaces of all these women, and so many of the names we'll recognize. And we talked a little bit about, I'm kind of excited about the upcoming issue that is, when is that out?
January 8th.
January
8th.
So exciting. So can you do a little name dropping of maybe who's in there?
I love to drop names. Your very own Allred is in there. I'm delighted because her room is new. We approached her for Volume 1, actually, a little bit of history, and she was just in her living room and she said, oh no. And she sent me a picture. It was really funny. And I agreed, no. It was like a bomb went off, you know, and we can relate. I can relate to that, certainly. But then in the meantime, between Volumes 1 and now 2, she had moved into her own space, and I can't wait to share that with people. It's gonna be great.
Lori is one of those that, like, her space is beautiful, and she's really into organization. So you'll have to check that out. Any other names you might want to throw out?
Oh, so many. My gosh, we have this one, Volume 2. The difference from it in Volume 1 is it's branching out into more crafts than just scrapbooking. So we have Heather Bailey, which I was so excited about. I have a little crush on her, if I could say that.
She's
her
so
work
talented.
Is stunning. Oh yeah, and her studio, it's just a reflection of her.
Yeah.
Her impeccable taste. You know, we have Stacy Julian, which has been in the industry forever. She's a staple piece, so I was thrilled when she said yes. Oh gosh, I knew I would get on this spot.
I told Megan that when they come out with the Hoarders edition, I'll be like the first one.
And mine will be on the cover. I know, it's terrible.
So Megan, one of the things I love about this issue, and kind of what you were kind of just touching on, is taking all of the fun skills that we have gotten from our paper crafting and bringing it into our spaces and bringing it into our home. And so I asked Megan to just kind of bring a few ideas of ways that we can do that. And I am just overwhelmed with some of the fun stuff that you brought.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. I'm overwhelmed too. What I like about this issue and the first one, and I think resonates with people, is there are things that you can take away, whether you have a craft room to devote or not. You can do these in your living rooms, or like one of the ideas I'll share with you is actually in my daughter's nursery. So there are ideas that will apply elsewhere, but they're also very crafting oriented. So these are a few that just stand out, some from my own space. After Volume 1, I got really inspired by the rooms in there.
Oh yeah.
And did a Volume 2 in my home. So
good.
I added a second area for sewing in my home, and some of the ideas that I used were actually inspired by the first issue. So that was really fun because we have my scrapbook room in the first issue, and then the second we have my sewing space, which is just shared with my living room. I don't have a big fancy home, but it works.
But that's important. Like these, women need to know that it's not, everybody doesn't have the luxury or the space, especially if you're in the city, to have these dedicated spaces. But there are ways to add like little things like this to your space. And I have to say, our camera guy laughed at this, but you crafters, you'll relate. This is darling. Explain what this is.
A lot of what you'll see in this issue we call found items. This is one of them. I just picked this up at an antique shop. It's an old cheese grater and then a little coat of spray paint later and some pink grass out in my yard because, I get out there and I always have these multicolored grass. The neighbors think it's fun, right? I'm the weird lady. Anyway, so I use it for decorative pin storage, and you can just stick your pins down in there. And you can do decorative paper clips, or you just have it on your shelf, and it's an inspiration piece.
And that's what I was going to say. For me, it's like not only is it a practical storage, but it's inspiration just to be surrounded by those little things.
Yes, absolutely. And I mentioned my daughter's room, a few things that transfer over. One that's in my sewing area is a washi tape covered light switch plate, and I did the same for my daughter's Maggie for her room. So I have this. And it's just, here's the before and after. Obviously, you know what that before looks like.
Is that just like thin, like strips of washi tape?
Actually, did I bring it? It's this one in the blue color. So it's wider.
And you just lined it up perfectly. Literally, I'm looking at it like way close, and I can't even tell the difference.
And you know what I love about this is that you can change it out. This is such a forgiving product that it won't damage the surface if you get bored with it or the color schemes change. And it's a simple, you just cover it, like you said, line it up, and then after you've got the tape on there and you've covered it, take your craft knife, I just flip it over, and you just cut out the...
Okay, we've done like 101 things to do with washi tape. This is officially 102. Like, this rocks. This is so awesome.
Glad. I love it too. It's so simple. It's so fast. I talk about weekend projects a lot. That's like an hour project.
This, you know, I always joke that I have crafter's ADD, so this is a good crafter ADD project.
Yes, and I used to do it in my craft room in other areas with wallpaper and things, but that's so permanent, you know, and with the decoupage. This is not. And it stays. I've had this for months, and it's not at all peeling up. So
awesome. So when she becomes a teenager, you can like switch that out with maybe some Justin Bieber washi.
Oh, totally. You know, I just saw Hello Kitty washi tape, so maybe there will be Bieber any day now.
And you mentioned decoupage. Okay, so you and I have something in common. This is one of our favorite products. Tell me a little bit about this and some of the projects you've done.
So inspired by a project we featured in the Seven Gypsies office space. Oh, and speaking of, we do have an addition to Volume 2 that we didn't have in Volume 1. And that is we've invited companies with interesting crafting environments to be part of the issue as well. And Seven Gypsies office is one of them. So that is
oh my gosh,
really
I remember
exciting.
The first time I walked into their office, I was just like, can I just get my futon and move in? Like,
I know, that's how
awesome.
I felt. I've been a fan of theirs since day one, and to go in there, it's just you surround yourself with that, and it's such a happy place.
And I remember being in there and seeing that they had a shelf that they had decoupaged with this.
Yes.
And it is so cool. So show me a couple of projects I know that you've been working on with the decoupaging in tissue paper.
Yes, yeah. One of them is this trouser hanger. So it's just a pair of pants or trousers.
Yeah.
I guess that's what
sounds so fancy.
I know, right? It's old school. The trousers. Anywho, and it took, again, minutes. That's something you'll find with stuff I do is it can't take a lot of time. I have a busy job. I'm on the road a lot, and now I have a new baby, and it's just something's got to give. And I know so many people can relate to that. So a lot of things I do have to be on the quick, and this is one of them. You just slap that on there with a little decoupage, oftentimes referred to as Mod Podge if you're interested, but several brands offer it. And it's a quick makeover, in this case, to hang a layout on the wall.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's
it's good
so
display.
Cute.
But you could also, we show it in the print for storing your tissue paper, go figure. So you can hang these from it. And that way it won't get crumpled or wrinkled and use your closet space well, you know.
That is such a great idea.
Thank you. I like it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking that'd make a great gift, but that is awesome storage.
Would. You know what I thought is for, and I did one for my own nursery. Sorry to keep talking about that. Obviously, I'm a new mom.
I love it.
But with her outfit that we brought home from the hospital, and I took some pink polka dot tissue paper and did the same thing and have that in her room. So good for sentimental purposes as well. And then the same line, I also have a step stool in my new space, my Volume 2 space, where I took the sewing pattern paper, which has a similar consistency, that really thin, pliable, that you can get at consignment shops. You can still buy new ones, but it's cheaper oftentimes to buy the repurposed ones.
And here's a photo of it here. Now, Megan, tell me, like, on a scale from maybe 1 to 5, what would be the level of difficulty? Not necessarily time, but just difficulty.
Difficulty, very simple. You just need a foam brush, so probably a 2, maybe? Because you have to cut off excess, but it depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. I'm not, so I just kind of slapped it on there. Time, a 5.
A 5.
And something this large. Well, I shouldn't say, it took me 3 hours. So, and that, basing that with also my experience level, you know, I would say I'm an intermediate crafter in this decoupage world, so I don't know, it's probably a 3 to 5 hour project, because you have to incorporate drying time. I painted some of this stool also, so working all that in.
But for the whole project, and the thing that I love about DIY projects for the home is, you know, sometimes it's either money or time, but one of them has to give.
Yes.
And so in this case, I think some of us have a little bit more time maybe than money, and so it's a nice trade-off. So Megan, before we go, let's share. Was there anything else that you want to share with our viewers that's been totally exciting for you in that kind of that crossover in home decor?
Just expanding this issue to store so many items, paint and yarn and fabric, and like I said, companies, Doodlebug and Stampin' Up, and then well-known personalities. Mark Montano from TLC Network is there, and he has his big-ass book of crafts series, and Angela Daniels, and so many wonderful people. I think that is the key to this, is you get to know these people. They invite you into their homes, literally, so you get to step inside to their world and see what it's about. And so often, every time, there's not an exception, the room reflects the personality of the person. So it's like you just get to see an extension of them, and when you know them, you see it right away, but when you don't know them, as maybe a reader just for the first time getting to know them, you feel like you know so much more about them.
And it's fun to see what inspires them.
Yes, and so many takeaways, whether you have a dime to spend, repurposing stuff from your home, or you have a little bit more money to invest in some fancier furniture, a million ideas. And then we have a really great giveaway in there of some craft room furniture.
Okay, sweet, because I love giveaways.
Me too, and it's a doozy, so we're really excited about that.
So check out this issue, and you said it's going to be out January 8th. Yeah. So I know that I'll be waiting in my checkout line to go get that.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay, so before we go, just one last thing. One thing we like to play here is we do rapid fire or would you rather. Are you ready to play?
I am, but I always step in it. Foot and mouth, so I'm warning you ahead of time.
All right, I'll ask you some safe questions. Okay. Would you rather be stranded on an Arctic cliff or a very, just desolate desert?
Oh, geez. One nightmare or another. The desert, because I hate being cold.
Oh, I agree.
And we live in Utah.
Yeah.
So this time of year, being December, that's rough, but it's been pretty mild.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, would you rather do a layout page or a card?
Oh, depends on the time involved. I love doing layouts because those are my memories, but the time investment's a little bit more. So ideally layouts because I'm capturing stories to pass on to my generations, but in a pinch when I just want to be creative, I love doing the cards. Can I say both?
Yeah,
both. That's kind of cheating. Right. I'm cheating.
Okay, last but not least, would you rather read a very sophisticated classic or just a smutty summer paperback album on the beach?
Did you see that 50 Shades of Grey sitting on my nightstand? Yes, I'm one of those guilty. Yeah, I read it too. So I guess that answers it. I, again, like both, but it just depends on the time I have, and lately there's not much. So the easier reads, which often equate to the smuttier reads, are a little bit more frequented on my nightstand.
Megan is one of those that you need to get to know personally. She has just such a great personality, such a great style, and you can actually find Megan on your blog, and it's called That's What She Said, which I think is so adorable. And you can also, she is the creative editor, like I said, for Creating Keepsakes, and you can pick up the magazine on newsstands, or does it come with your subscription?
What's that?
The Creative Spaces?
No, it's a special issue.
So it's a special issue.
Yeah.
So make sure you check it out at the newsstands on January 8th. Megan, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks.